y'all.
Today we're outside in the garden harvesting some herbs.
Yes, we definitely need to get this done before some of them go to blossom. Our sage has already went to blossom, which is fine. We've already got some of his for the year, which is great. But we wanted to get our oregano and some of our other, our lavender and some of our mint. And we also need to get some lemon balm harvested. So we thought we'd just bring you along with us and we can show you what we do with our herbs. You want to give yourself about 6 inches when you're harvesting your herbs. You want about 6 inches or so. Then what we like to do is we'll just tie the string around them while we're out here. Keeps it all nice and together for you. You don't have to do this. You can wait till you get inside. That's totally fine. Okay. That was our oregano. Clip it right above another set of leaves. That's where you typically want to clip it. Our rosemary, it's just little. I don't know if you can see that. It's just little. We're going to let that go a while before we try to harvest any of it. At the time here, some of it has already went to blossom, but we're going to pick some that hasn't. And you never want to take all of your herbs. You want to leave some on the plant so that it has enough ability to regenerate more. Okay. Now we're going to head out to the garden and get some green onions. Okay, so we're inside now. We've got our harvested herbs. And what you want to do is we just tie a little knot at the top and tie it around. And we just hang it up in the kitchen or wherever. Just out of the sunlight is important. And I do know people who would put a hole through a paper bag, like a lunch bag or something, and you can thread this up through the hole and have it cover in it, and let them dry that way if you're worried about dust or anything getting on your herbs. Ours don't, they dry pretty quickly, and we don't usually tend to have that problem. But if you think you might forget about them, if you're putting them somewhere in a dry location and it's out of the way, you might want to do that if you think you might forget about them for a while, just to keep the dust and whatnot off of them. So we just hang them up in the kitchen. You'll see them hanging probably in videos. We have them hanging all over the place as long as it's out of direct sunlight. That's the important thing. And one other very important thing I do need to tell you is you want to label these. We just take some plain paper and we put a little hole punch through it, and we'll put the name of it on there, like this is lemon balm. You can tell typically now, but when they're dry, you are not going to know lemon balm from mint necessarily. So getting a real good habit of writing the name on there so you don't forget what it is you have hanging, okay? We have done that before and had to crunch it up and smell of it just to figure out what it was. So instead of going through that difficult process of of crunching it up and smelling all of the herbs, just go ahead and put a tag on there. That works better. This is mint.
Goodness.
Y'all don't have a hole punch, you can just put a little X in it and then thread it through like we're doing here. That's what we did on this one. Doesn't have to be fancy. You just want something that you know what it is when it's time to put it up. So when you're harvesting your lavender, you want to get your about 6 inches of lavender, like I said when we were out in the garden. But you also want to get them right before they open up and become to bloom, because that's when you have your most oils left in your lavender. So that's a good little tip as far as when to harvest. This one is a little premature, so he's still a little green, and this one is very much purple. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so as you can see, these are our jars of herbs that we have. And we have some mint already dried here. And we're just going to go ahead and take that off. And Isabella's got some thyme here that's already dried. And we're going to take that off. Pretty easy if you just rub your fingers right down along it. The stem, it'll come right off for you. Smells like mint. Mm-hmm. So guys, that's all there is to it. So when you're storing your dried herbs, you just want to store them in a cool, dark location to keep their freshness. Here's some green onions. We're going to chop those up here. Now your green onions, we find the best way to do that is just chop them in tiny little pieces and then just put them on your dehydrating trays and dehydrate them for just a short while. And then you can put them in, once they're cooled off, you can put them in your jars and store them. The green onion is wonderful in dips and things and marinades, that sort of thing, right? That's what we use ours for. Of course, your oregano, you can make your own Italian seasoning. Our lavender, we save the leaves and the buds for that. We'll just peel off the leaves and the buds and put them in our jar here for that. And we use our lavender many things. Isabella uses it in her soap making. You can make lavender oil with it. You can also put it in our teas along with mint and lemon balm. And we did that tea video, didn't we?
Yeah, I'll leave it after this video.
You'll tag that for them?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So a lot of these things right in with your flower gardens, or you can even grow them in pots on your patio if you don't have a space for necessarily a garden. That's a fun way to start preserving, even if you don't have the space for a garden. But we sure hope you enjoyed this video, and we love our herb garden. Our herbs that we grow versus store-bought, it is incredible the difference, don't you think? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us all today and giving us a little bit of your time. We hope this has been inspirational for you. And as always, keep it simple
And fun. Also, subscribe and like so you don't miss any of these tips and tricks.